And we are back.
All right. So we're going to talk about that hat that you got on, that Brad Hanna hat.
Yeah.
You're going to be sending me one, Brad.
Yeah. The funny thing is, uh, when I started doing the Instagram stuff, it's gonna sound weird, but I am like the Brad Hanna fucking fanboy because he's a buddy of mine. So like everything he's ever put out, he's what got me onto Instagram, literally. Well, that's not true. There was a Popeyes transformation challenge. That was the only reason that I fucking got an account at all. And then I started following him because he was on Instagram. And then he made taping cool like skateboarding was in high school. That's the way that I think about it, right? Like
Yeah.
that type of like.
Yeah, him and Phil both. Like you see
Totally.
that post, and it's like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
cool. Everybody should be a drywall finisher.
That's exactly where my head was at. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start hanging board again. Yeah. So I don't know. All I meant to say by that was he doesn't watch my content at all. He when I started doing the Instagram stuff, I went over. We were hanging out. He looked at me. He's like, "Never gonna watch your stuff." It's like I don't give a fuck, man. I'm happy that you don't. Oh yeah, no, he's tough love, man. I love it. Yeah, he's you know where you stand with him. I like it.
Yeah.
But because of that, he threw me the hat. We went to Beer Town one time. He's like, "I got something for you." Yeah, it's my lucky hat. Ever since I put this thing on, things have been going real well. So it's oh yeah, it's always in the truck. Yeah, reach out to him, man. They got better ones. The drywall shorty's got like a colored brim one, and
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. She should be coming on in January.
Really, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
CSR Black Friday event like
it was so sick, man.
I'm gonna have to get my passport so I can be there.
So sick. Yeah. I want to get everybody to come next year. So I left with that energy and went into that first podcast with Josh, and he's down. Like he's coming up when it happens next year.
Yeah.
I think we all should.
Oh, I'd like to be there.
I think so.
That's Nick and I are talking about going up to do a wall in Columbia Tools' place. I don't know if they're even aware of it yet, but
you know what? Aaron and him were talking about that, and he's like, we got walls around here. He's looking around. I think he says it on the podcast.
Yeah, I think he did. No.
Yeah, I would fucking love to do that. It's so okay. So I got to pick your brain about it. First of all, how was your trip?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
First class. I mean, Nick treated me awesome. Did you see that house they put me up in?
Bro.
4-bedroom, all to myself.
Oh, I thought that was his house.
No, that's just the house that his wife owns. She does, and don't quote me on this because I may be off a little bit, but she houses people in the movies, like directors, actors.
Okay.
Like they come to Albuquerque to work. She rents houses out for him to stay in.
That's sick.
So I got to stay in one of her properties, and I also worked on her new office. I've still got some there. Yeah, we transformed her office. Those walls were hideous, dude. Like I'm talking, had like this wood trim all over it. It was a old hair salon.
Okay, so yeah.
No baseboard, trim all over the walls. We ripped it off, and I'm talking big chunks of paint just peeling off the wall.
It looked like it was like almost shoe mold in like a bunch of designs and shit. Is that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you peeled it off, like it was just glued on. So the paint, it took it all down. I mean, I couldn't tell you how old that building was. Like I literally told Nick, I said, dude, if I'd have walked into this job back home, I'd have probably walked out and not messaged the client back because I would have felt bad that I was going to offend them with a price.
No, thank you.
But I was amazed at how well it all covered with his product. Like we literally just put 2 coats of mud over top of everything, and it came out beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and finish too, right? Like it's
and I mean, like it completely changed my perspective on those jobs because, like I'm saying, like where I would have, because typically on a job like that, you're going in, you're spreading all the mud, and then you're creating dust in an environment that people are already in. And that's the problem with going out and reskimming old walls that people are living in. That's where his product is great. You know, there's no dust. It's painted when you leave.
Yeah.
You don't have to call and hire a painter to come in after you.
Well, you come in at like second coat, like tapes on skimmed once, and then you deliver it from there to finish paint, basically, right? With the Fresco. Yeah. Which to me sounds like awesome. A bag of money. It's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of getting it on the walls and in front of people's eyes, because once you get in the room with it, it really changes your perspective of it. Like pictures, videos, they just don't capture the quality of it. Like you've got to be there to see it.
I was going to say, you don't get that texture over it at all. Like on some of them on the Fresco page on Instagram, if you've not looked at that, go look at it. Anyone watching, some of them are the contrast. Like he's got this like reddy orange wall, and it's all kind of like, I can't imagine what that looks like in person. But even in a picture, it was like, wow.
And when the light hits, like the natural light completely changes it. Like it might look one way at 6 in the morning. It's gonna look completely different at 6 in the evening.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, it was that it felt like dominoes falling when I stumbled across Nick. Like I was just like, okay, so he's got a drywall podcast. That's really cool. The fuck is Fresco Harmony, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like he and Aaron by accident got in touch with each other. You know what I mean? And then now CSR's involved, and now we're all going to be an hour from each other. You know what I mean? It was just like, and the more I look into it, I like this wall behind me is going to be something. Like I don't know what color it's going to be, if it's going to be the blue or the green or that black with like a hint of blue in it. But yeah, I'm super excited.
I'm really excited about working with the swirls, like adding the colors to it. Today I spent like half of my day trying to find metallic paint, because I live in the middle of nowhere, which is great in one aspect until you need to find tools or a special product like that.
Yep.
I looked it up. The closest place to me is Cleveland, which is 3.5 hours from me. Like I'm down in the bottom of the state.
Yeah. So you are in Ohio. I got it written here. I was going to ask.
I'm actually not too far from like I'm drivable distance from CSR, like 7 hours, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Nick talks about flying to Ohio, meeting with me, and then us driving up there.
Fucking road trip it.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy you could spend a week with. No problem. Yeah.
Good-hearted, genuine, good person.
So he seems super genuine, dude. Yeah. And it's not snake oil either, right? Like that is a legitimate product that needs to be on the fucking market.
It's got its place in the market. Yeah, it just
100%
needs to be in front of people's eyes. That's the bottom line.
Well, the contract work that I do is for a big company, and they only work with design firms. So that's where I'm getting excited about it. We're getting it into like the hands of a couple designers of like, you want to be the first one to do this? Right. And it's
taking a few sample boards to them and showing them what I've got a big package coming from him tomorrow with a bunch of different colors. I'm gonna work up.
You heard it here first. He's got a big package. That'll be a clip. And what is it? The whole line kind of thing?
Not the whole line, but a bunch of different colors. I think I got like 15 different color packs and all the different sealers. He's got that smoke sealer, the gold sealer that just like leaves like a gold flash over the wall. I mean, I actually want to go over my wall again with the gold sealer just to bring it out some more. I think it will really pop the wall. Plus, it'll be like a part 2 for the TikTok, because that's the one TikTok that went viral for me.
So it's like a black wall, right?
Yeah.
And so did you swirl any? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, like a charcoaly or whatever, yeah. So you didn't swirl a second color into that?
No, I just went over it twice with that same Galterio steel.
Nice.
Galterio steel. I may be saying that wrong, but anyway, no, I didn't. That wall, I got the product on like a Friday, and I was so excited to try it. I mixed it up that night, threw a coat on my wall.
Nice.
I think I got it done at like midnight. Left a fan on it all night. coated it first thing the next morning, and then was able to seal it by Saturday evening. Like, that's how excited I was to try the product. And turned out good. I mean, for not knowing what I was doing, I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But on the trip, there was a lot that I learned, like, as far as, like, I was just moving down the wall like in one motion.
Yeah,
like, when you get, you want to get in different, move around on the second coat and on the sealer so that you don't get break lines in it. That, and I was applying it too thick at first. So I was just putting it like a real heavy coat on, just not knowing what to do,
Yeah, totally.
There's definitely a technique behind it.
Yeah. I watched a ton of his videos of him doing it. Oh yeah. And he's, this whole hawk's gonna go in this, and then we're just gonna pull it. And then I'll start down here, and then, you know what I mean? And it looks like he's like a wizard with it, eh? I imagine.
Oh, he's good at it. Yeah. I got down there, and before I got there, he was complimenting me on how clean my work is. And I get down there, and I haven't ran a hawk and trial other than doing this wall behind my computer in, I don't know, a year and a half. Like, I've just, because now with the auto tools, I just use a pan and a knife, because with a hawk and a trowel, your trowel gets crusty. You got to clean it off. With a pan and knife, you can just leave the knife in the mud, work with it whenever. So anyway, I hadn't worked with a hawk and trowel, and I started working that mud around, and it's like dripping on my toes again, like back to beginners. He's looking at me, he's like, "Man, I thought you were a much cleaner finisher." I'm like, "Dude, I finished with the tools. Like I don't do handwork anymore."
Yeah. Oh, and every dime of it that falls on the ground, you got to know that he sees that as waste, right? Like, he's so efficient. Yeah.
He's zoning right in on it.
That's amazing.
But it was fun. It was a good trip. All in all, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I hope to do it again. I hope to do it next time and get to see the city of Albuquerque a little bit. Check out the town.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work while I was down there.
I was going to ask you that too.
We busted some stuff out. It was cool.
Nice. Yeah. It's
that's kind of how I am back. Like we're kind of like, I didn't realize I was a production finisher until I got onto the podcast, and I was like, wow, that's kind of what we do. We knock houses out in 5 days and just move on to the next one. I think we did over 40 houses last year.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's solid.
We knocked some footage out. I had 3 guys working for me, 2 full-time, 1 part-time at the beginning of last year.
Yep.
And it was a lot. I was still learning a lot at the time. Like,
totally.
I took on too much, to be honest. Like, now that I'm down to just 1 employee, things are really simple. We've got a good system going. I do eventually want to pick up another guy, but for right now, I'm comfortable.
The quality control when you're by yourself or with one other person is full, right? It's that's the only thing that I found. Last year, I brought out people that were professionals, and I would still go around and kind of double check the work, and it just wasn't.
Always disappointed still.
Always.
Yep.
And
I thing as a boss is knowing when to say something and when to just let it go, because nobody's ever going to put out the quality of work that you want. I mean, somebody might come close, but there's going to be something that you're going to find that you would have done different. And it's so hard, not to just say it whenever it first comes to mind.
Very rarely say it, if ever.
Yeah.
But now, if somebody asks me a question and it pertains to something they fucked up, I'm going to be honest about it, right? But no, and that's exactly why I don't pick it out, right? I've asked you to come and help. If I wanted it done to my quality, I would do it myself, period, right? And it's, you expect people to do their best, and if they are, then it is what it is. But I couldn't imagine having 4 people. I the whole time I would just be worried about the quality the whole day.
It was a mess. And the one kid I was hooked up with my old high school. They've got a construction trades program.
See, I want to get into that. Yeah.
They were sending me a kid, 3 days out of the week to come and work with me. And it was good. I'd really like to get back into it again. But like I said, just last year, I was still buying tools at the time. Like, I've got now 4 10-inch flat boxes, 4 12-inch flat boxes, like enough to where I can run an entire crew. At that time, I was still purchasing all those tools and
Right.
losing money training people, and it was tough at the beginning of last year, but we made it through. We got a good system now. You know, that's how you learn. You got to go through it to get to it. You know.
Yep. Yeah, you got to fail hard, man. Like it's these little failures that people are concerned with. It's like, no, you got to like dive face first into a plate window.
Yeah, and it's
because you learn from that.
And it's not a failure, you know. It's not a failure unless you look at it like that. I think there's always a lesson to be learned, you know.
Yeah, that's the you know, every once in a while somebody's like, man, how are you so good at everything? I'm like, because I was like a professional fuck up. Like I was just like, yeah, I could totally do that. And then you would like, I redid things numerous times when I was younger. I do.
That's when I got the call to go finish my first house. It was like 9 months after I've been training with a guy.
Yeah.
Your first house? I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, not really, but you know, then there's that other voice that's like, fuck yeah, we're gonna do this. It doesn't matter if we have to work 80 hours this week, we are gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, and especially with finishing, anything that is that bad, you sand and redo it. You know, there really isn't anything that you can't fix. Well, in anything like that, framing's the same way. Things are fucked up. You take your fasteners out, straighten it up, do it again,
try again.
Yeah. I did a leadership podcast, like a solo one, and when I'm training guys, I'm like, if I'm not catching you fucking things up, you're not even trying, right? You'll never ever learn being safe. You gotta grow, right? That has to come from struggle. Because when you know, and I call it failure because it is, but it's a positive thing. When you fail, you don't typically do that again. Whatever you did to get you there.
If you're smart, you catch it and you learn from it.
Totally, yeah.
What about you got any plans of working with Columbia Tools this year? Oh yeah,
I sure do.
You allowed to release that, or is that?
That's oh yeah. Yeah, they you know, now that I've got the set, I'm just gonna start giving stuff away on the podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've got a corner cobra already.
Oh, that's the only Columbia tool that I don't have.
Yeah.
So I'll have to enter that giveaway.
I think once we hit 100 subscribers, that's what I'm gonna do.
Awesome.
So my subscribers are gonna go like this. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's gonna be neat. I love working with them. I love working with them. They're so positive. They don't care that never once have I gotten notes. Never. And I cuss. Oh yeah, oh totally. Yeah. You know, they speak up about what they like for sure. And sometimes I'm like, do you have anything that you want me to touch on? Like, what, right? Is there anything I should? And they're like, nope. No, you go be honest about that. I'm like, okay. Yeah, and the tools are wicked. When you're coming from, like, this all started for like Joe Bobs that are doing everything work, right? Like not subcontractors, but like general contractors.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I got into the taping stuff with the compound tube because some guy like my uncle that doesn't use one goes, holy shit, that was fast. And you're like, yeah, this is $1,000, and it quadruples your output. You know, and everything's so clean. Like, try and get your corner as perfect as with a flusher. You're never going to do that. Now, I say never, but I mean, like, there are guys out there that are just as good with the knives and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't get too pushy with them. Like buy those as opposed to these or anything like that.
When I started, my first set was Drywall Master. They were bought for me.
As I say that, I do have this sign. As I say, I'm not pushy. I shove it down everyone's throat, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the Drywall Masters. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I started out with a set of their boxes. I think I've still got the roller, which works well.
Okay.
But it got to a point where I wanted to upgrade to the Fat Boys.
Right.
They hold more mud, obviously, less trips to the pump.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I think I was watching all of Phil's videos, and the Columbia tools were black. They just looked sweet, you know. And I've also always been a firm believer of what has worth is worth paying for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're a little bit, you could have bought the level 5s. They're a little bit cheaper, which I will touch on. I have bought level 5 boxes.
Same.
And I don't think they run the same.
Okay.
I think the Columbias run better. I mean, I can just box bead so much easier with the Columbias. I feel like it's the metal that level 5 uses because it's a different feel than the Columbias are like a matte finish.
Okay.
Level 5s are like a shiny, almost a gloss finish to the metal. And I feel like the mud pushes out of the Columbia boxes easier. And
yeah,
saying that it makes boxing bead easier. That's my thing. I love boxing bead.
It's so clean.
Oh,
it's such a clean look.
Especially when you get into the 12-inch box and you can slide down it one swipe and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, my beadwork, man, is crazy. I do it, and then I do the 90 with the fiberfuse, and then I come back and I do it all with knives. And I want to get an 8-inch box is what I want, and then start doing it like that. I
will say the Tape Tech Wizard handle makes it really easy for learning how to box bead because you can control it. You're right on top of the box. You can really get the feel for it.
It's like this. It's just a little guy.
Tiny,
okay.
And it's nice for closets too.
Yeah. I do. You know what? I use the nail spotter like that on this site. I undid it when I was doing that basement, and not the big attachment, but the small attachment came out. And then I think the laborer threw away the big one. So I was looking for it through my pack and I couldn't find it. So I was like, fuck, okay. And so I grabbed it like this and then used it. I gave up pretty quick. I was like, that's not as wicked when it's not on a pole.
No, you might as well have a knife in your hand at that point.
That's honestly, I got till it was empty because I was like, well, now we're wasting time if I don't finish it. Yeah. It was good. Yeah, I bought that level 5 auto taper just as my first auto taper. Just because I had a budget in mind and it just fit the budget. I was fucking 10 minutes into using it before I was like, that was stupid.
Yeah.
It's way heavier. I used the Predator prior to that. So to fill that level 5 up with mud, it's heavy. It's definitely heavy. Compared to the carbon fiber. And
Predators.
What's that?
I've got 3 Predators.
Do you? Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
The only taper I'll buy.
Yeah, and you touched on it too. That black on white. You go through any saved game of a video game, my whole life, all of my black and white. That's always been the Venom is the best Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So yeah, aesthetically I like them. That's absolutely what drew me to them. Yeah. Okay, talk to me about the mustache.
The mustache started as a joke for No Shave November 2 years ago.
Okay.
And at the end of November, it was getting so long that it was in my mouth when I was eating. I was eating half mustache, half food. So I started buying mustache wax and twisting it up. And then, dude, it's stuck. Like, it's basically a marketing thing now. Like,
it suits you.
As the mustache guy.
Yeah, it really suits you.
It's crazy how many compliments I get. Like, I hang out with my brother a lot. My brother and I live together.
Yeah. And you guys look like you're wild, hey? Like some of those videos.
Are a good time to hang out with, man.
Yeah, I bet.
We've talked about starting our own podcast.
Get on it. I'm telling you. I'm telling everyone. Get on it.
Everybody's doing it, man. It's cool.
I've
been on 3 podcasts this year. I've never thought I'd be on a podcast,
Well, you're good at it, right? It's just conversation, right? And the more people I talked to about it, they were like, absolutely, like you absolutely need to have a podcast. And
Oh,
then
you're perfect for a host.
yeah, oh great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should smoke cigars and drink scotch with me, man. Neil and I got fucking wrecked.
Oh, I'm excited.
We did like 2 and something hours.
Wow,
it was wicked. Big, like
that's
$30
awesome.
cigars in his basement. It was sick. Yeah, Josh and I had a couple of drinks too, and just like it, it just, some people need it to relax, right? And that's really when the conversations start. That's what started this one. Was Brad and I were in his backyard and got hammered, like hammered. And the next day I was like, I think I'm starting a podcast. Like if we had done that on camera, everybody would have loved that, right? Because you're just talking life, and then work, kind of makes its way into it. Yeah, I went from that to Judd's house, who he does the custom carpentry with me, and we made a bunch of beer. He's a beer connoisseur. So we made a bunch of beer, and then we sat at his kitchen table, and his wife and I and him just sat around, shot the shit, drinking beer. And we talked about it, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. But that's cool, right? Because then you could have all the other guys on yours, and then, and then you just start doing it. I think it's going to be a good thing.
I think so. Like I was really surprised when I saw Nick's pop up the first Drywall podcast.
Oh yeah. Right away. I didn't even go to his page. I had to have gone to his page to message him, but I didn't even swipe nothing. I just like, I want to be on your podcast. Oh, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, my internet cut out.
You were like, I was like, you're sitting awful still, bud. Yeah.
I forget what we were even at now.
Oh, yeah. When I went to his page, I messaged him right away. I want to be on your podcast, 100%. That's
awesome. I was actually shy. I was like, I hope he messages me and he reach out to me first.
No, I dove all over that grenade. I was like, even if this is bad, I want it. Let's go. Yeah, and then it wasn't. I think he and I talked for like an hour on the phone, and then when I got kind of Fresco in my brain, I reached out to him again to talk about it a little bit more, and we face called again for whatever, like another 45 minutes talking about it. Because I started seeing all the places where it should fit in here. Right? Like, especially in like my line of work and what we do. And he fucking called it right away.
I had to laugh out loud when he brought up the fact that you guys will send the video messages.
Yes.
Because like that day or that week, I got one from Christy Slade and you both.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I thought it was a little bit weird too, but
I started sending them because I'm driving, right? So if I'm driving, I can kind of do it, and then you see me, and I'm also very expressive and super sarcastic. So I think things come across funny when they're all texted with me.
Yeah, no, I like it. I enjoy it a lot better than just a text message.
Totally.
Feel the emotion.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird sometimes because like you'll met like even people in my life, like my personal life, I'll send messages to, and every once in a while they're like, why are you sending me video messages? Like, I don't know. I just love seeing myself talk. Yeah, that's cool. So what would your brother and your podcast be about? Just shooting the shit?
Probably just shooting the shit life.
Fuck yeah.
Pretty much, I don't know, stuff we covered already, just the the hustle. My brother's got his own studio. Music recording. He's an engineer, mixes music. So he's kind of got his own entrepreneurship going there too. So
that whole thing is the same, but it's the product at the end that's different. So like,
his world's a work of art too. Like I didn't realize how much art there was involved in drywall. Like it might sound silly to say, but
no, I absolutely agree with that. It's like, what you get out of it is what you put into it. And I think that's what like quote unquote art is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I find entrepreneurs need to be paid more for what they got, like what they've got for the world. And I think that all comes from like you find the thing that you are passionate about and then you do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, this the whole I I guess I've always been drawn to construction. Like
Hmm.
in high school, I wanted to be in that trade program. My parents wouldn't let me because I was supposed to go to college, be one of those kids. Thank God that didn't work out.
Hmm.
But no, the drywall part of it's just being specialized in it is really cool for me. Like to know that I can just stay busy finishing, that I don't have to learn how to frame or, learn if I want to hang board, I can hang board. But if I don't, it's
You don't
nice
have
knowing
to.
that I can, yeah, it's nice knowing that I can just stay finishing and stay busy.
Hmm. Yeah, like year round, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of finishing to be done. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what it's like down there. 2035, there's like 750,000 tradespeople retiring that year. So like we're about to fall off a cliff with the amount of work that's here and the amount of people that we have.
There's only one other young finisher in my area, and
Perfect.
the rest of them are, like you said, going to be retiring in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
Like
go ahead. Sorry.
it's sad. Like we need young guys in the trade.
Yeah, that's what I like about what you did though with that school. I would love to get into that. Where find I'll go through 30 idiots to find the right person that is like, this is what I want to do. I understand that. I understand how much work it's going to take, but I'm in.
Mhm.
That kid,
That's the thing. Those kids that are in that program, they're wanting to learn it. So they're
perfect.
interested when they come to work every day. At the time, it was just, I was young, I'm
Hmm.
26 years old. I didn't even
I
see
know you're
myself as
so
a
young. Yeah.
mentor. I'm still trying to start my business. I'm still trying to grow. And
Oh yeah.
it was just too much for me at the time, but it is something that I'm going to get back into. And there's another school in my area. They don't have the trades in it, but the art teacher reached out to me through my Instagram account,
Nice.
and she wants me to come in and she told me I could speak to her class or the whole school, just about working in the trades and being in construction, how there is an option to choose this. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to go to school. Um, you go to work for a while, learn,
Mm.
see what you like. Because that was me when I got out of high school. I had no idea what I wanted to do for a living,
Yeah.
and I wasn't about to go to college and spend money to waste money.
Man, I'll tell you, the people that I know that went to college and university, about 20% of them are using it.
Yeah,
Still paying it off, doing something that
still
doesn't
paying for the
fucking
student debt. Yeah.
pay shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, you've got to put the time in for anything. I say this all the time. If you don't like what you're doing, how long does it take you to master something? 5 years,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Quit your job tomorrow and eat shit for 5 years and then be happy for the rest of your life.
Well, that's
What are
people
you
don't
doing not
understand
doing
that,
that?
like those first couple years, you are gonna have to hustle. Like you're
Mhm.
not just gonna be able to work 40 hours a week and get where you want to be.
No.
Like you are gonna be working 60 to 80 hours a week, whether you like it or not. And maybe it's not 60 hours on the job site, but when you get home, you've got jobs to estimate, you've got
Mhm.
phone calls to make, you've got jobs to line up for 2 3 weeks from now.
You know,
It's a lot more work than what it looks like from the outside.
so all the comments I've made up until now about the hours that I was putting in, I was talking like on site. But you're right. You come home, now you're doing content too,
Yeah,
right?
you're
Content
editing videos.
estimating, emails, phone calls. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that was the mistake I made down there in Albuquerque. Those first 6 days, I worked like 6 to 8 hours a day, and then I'd go back to the house and I would edit content from the time I got home till like 11 o'clock. And dude, come day 6 or 7, I was just burnt, like tired.
Yeah, yeah.
I, I was on the job site, and Nick came in and he could just see it in me. Like I was just dragging to even get there. And it was I think I was just finishing up the base coat, which is like the worst. You know, you're covering up the most on the base coat. So when you get to the second coat, like you can fly through it.
Right.
But I was wrapping up that base coat and he came in and he could just see it. I mean, I was like, dude, I'm not working very long today. Like I think I worked 4 hours.
I'm exhausted.
I went home and I slept for like 3 hours, which I don't even nap anymore. Like that's just not me. But I was just out that day. Slept for like 3 hours, got up, got some food, and went right back to bed that night.
Yeah. Well, when your body needs it, it tells you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure. All right. That's another good spot to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to come back
for round 3.
Round 3.